Awesome. Thank you, John. I just want to start out by first welcoming Reagan and Knox and Bennett to the Cubs family. All right. Bennett is particularly excited about that. But anyway, welcome to the family. We couldn't be more excited you guys are here. Just wanted to thank Scott. We've done a lot of deals together. We've had a lot of back and forth. But I would just say that I appreciate the diligence, the dedication always. And it's also really comforting knowing that once we get a player from the Boras Corp into the fold, we talk all summer, and it's always about how do we make that player better? How do we put him in the right frame of mind? And I always appreciate that. So thank you. And then I just want to thank Tom Ricketts, who's in back, and Laura and Todd for the constant support of our department. So thank you very much. I think anyone that spent time around our office, around me, knows that this is a player that I've coveted for a long time, that our department has coveted for a long time. And I think the baseball reasons for that are pretty clear. 9.5 years of great production, elite strike zone control. He's got elite swing decisions. He pulls the ball in the air for power. He plays great defense. He plays hard every day. I think that part is really clear. But the reason we're sitting here today is that whenever you're going to make a significant commitment in years and dollars to a player, you have to feel great about the person, about the human that you're investing in. And I couldn't feel better about that with Alex. People that have spent time around Alex know that he is obsessed with hitting, obsessed with winning. And if that focus was entirely on just Alex's performance, that would be impressive. But I think where Alex takes it to another level is his focus on his teammates and his focus on the organization and how we can all do things the right way, towards winning. So, to me, when I think about the biggest compliment that you can give to a player in a team sport is to say they're an incredible teammate. And every account I've ever gotten about Alex, from college, minor leagues, to organizations in the major leagues, is that this is truly an incredible teammate and someone that is focused every single day on us winning, us preparing the right way, and us playing the right way. So, like I said, when you do make a significant commitment to a player, you want to make sure that the person and the player are both at the highest level. And with Alex, we know that. So I couldn't be happier to bring Alex to Chicago, to this great fan base, to Wrigley, and couldn't be more excited to put this uniform on Alex. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm a winning baseball player and focused on winning. And in talking with Jed and Carter throughout this process, I know that the Cubs organization is focused on winning, and I'm looking forward to doing that and winning a championship here. I would want to say thank you to the Ricketts family, Tom, Jed, Carter, everyone in the Cubs organization for showing me how much they valued what matters to me the most, to my family, and winning baseball games.
Thank you, Alex. Bruce, we'll go to you first.
Welcome to Chicago. Great to see you, Scott. Jed. In the nicest way possible, you are known as the ultimate baseball rat. Where does that come from? How was it created? How did you get this wonderful reputation for being the ultimate teammate and the guy first guy there in the morning, last to leave?
I don't know. I think from a young age, I have been obsessed with the game of baseball. I wanted to be the best baseball player I could possibly be, and I feel like to be the best of this game, you have to win, and it drives me every single day, every time I show up to the ballpark to win baseball games, and looking forward to doing that here.
Hey, Alex, Megan with the Chicago Tribune. Obviously, the Cubs were interested in you last offseason and pursued you. How much did that process help you this time around? And you talked about winning, seeing them get back to the postseason, what they did there. Just how did the totality of those two things influence your decision?
Oh, for sure. Just being fortunate enough to talk with them last year, like you said, and talk with them again this year, and talk about winning and how committed they are to winning, and getting to watch that team last year. To veteran group with some exciting young players as well, and just they're willing to do what it takes to win at this level, and they're committed to doing that. And through many conversations with Jed and Carter and a lot of the staff here already, you can really sense that, and I'm really looking forward to it, ready to get to work.
Maddie Lee from the Chicago Sun-Times. Just following up on that, I'd actually love to hear from Scott and Jed on how those conversations last spring maybe kind of served as a foundation for talks then this winter.
I mean, obviously the timing was different last spring, and so the kind of contracts we were talking about were different. I think it was more just the level of interest. I think when the season ended and he opted out of his contract, I think that I called them pretty quickly and made it clear that we were interested again. So I think that probably this has led to a foundation of interest, and there was a little bit more background, a little more knowledge about the organization than might happen if it was more of a cold call. But we just been through a part of this process, 7-8 months before, so it kind of made it a little bit simpler.
Well, first, I want to thank Jed, the staff, and Scott Champerino from our office, because when we do things in very thorough volume with one another, to say the least. And so, when you find people that are fit for one another, they're kind of self-understood. They understand all their forums. They understand who they are. And they understand what their needs are for one another. And in this relationship, you can see the synergy was really, really something that both parties felt were something that could be highly successful. And when you find that in the game, you find the communication levels are greater. You find that the process from top to bottom in an organization is unified. And so it's the classic light socket and the plug. And that's kind of how Jed and I think Alex will work as a baseball unit, and should see some electricity from it.
John?
Hey, Jed. John Greenberg from The Athletic. Did you, last year, there's a difference between, a winning team and being a real contender. Were there points in the year last year where you were like, we're really an Alex Bregman or the Alex Bregman away from being a real contender? And is that how you feel what this move does to the Cubs for 2026?
I feel like we were a real contender last year. I think when you look at the totality of our season, I think it was really impressive. I mean, of course, during the course of a season, you're looking at your roster and thinking about, what you could add, what you can improve on. But I guess I would probably fight against the idea that we weren't a real contender last year. But obviously, the goal going into this winter was improvement. And I think the goal should be improvement every winter. And I think we saw the fit last spring, and obviously it didn't come to fruition, but I think we saw the same fit this year, and we were able to complete the deal. So I think we're always looking for improvement. I think you have to. We won last year. We didn't win at the highest level, and that's obviously the goal.
Jay?
Hey, Alex, Jay Cohen, Associated Press. We saw you at the Blackhawks game the other night, and then the Bulls. How much do you enjoy like being part of a city sports scene, and how does, when you watch other sports, how does that fit into kind of your obsession with winning in baseball? Do you find yourself taking things and learning things that you apply to baseball?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can take a lot from the other teams and apply it, and I think that being here for the last few days and going to see how much the city loves its sports has been awesome. Actually, my father and I and uncle kind of did Bulls, Blackhawks, and Bears maybe in 2016 or so, one off season in like a 3-day time period. So they were jealous that they weren't at the games the last 2 days, but it kind of just, the city of Chicago loves sports, and they love winning, and hopefully we can win a lot for them.
I had two, one for Alex, one for Jed. Alex, how much does the hitting environment matter when you're looking at your free agent contract and where you're going to be for the next 5 years, and how that looks in your legacy and things like that in terms of Wrigley Field and other places you've hit? How much does it matter?
Well, actually, one of the first things that we talked about on the Zoom was just last year kind of overlaid my batted ball spray to Chicago, and it's definitely a good place to hit, and I feel like Jed said, pulling the ball in the air here to left center is awesome. So, yeah.
Jed, for you, you had a third baseman that played Gold Glove caliber, was one of the better hitters in the second half. What have your conversations been with Matt Shaw, and what's his role going forward?
Yeah, I think I'll keep the conversations, internal, but we have a lot of really good, really versatile players, and I think that's a positive, and we have guys that can play different positions really well, and in my experience in baseball, but also with the Cubs, and players that have been a part of a lot of winning here. Moving guys around the diamond, it works, and it can work really well. I think that we're going to be celebrating 2016, this weekend, and Chris Bryant, played a lot of third, a lot of left field that year. Javi Baez played everywhere. We didn't have to just have one position for those guys, and you can move really good players around. And I think that you're not going to have perfect health throughout the year. You're going to need days off, and there's a lot of at bats out there if you can move around and play different positions.
Hey, Alex. Sahadev Sharma with The Athletic. There's been a lot of talk about leadership and tangible qualities that you bring. I'm curious, how was that kind of presented to you by Jed and the front office as to how you can bring that to this team? And how do you view those things? Like, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think that we talked about all the players in the clubhouse and how focused on winning they are. Just a good group of guys, combination of veteran players and young players, and guys that want to win, guys that are pulling on the same end of the rope. When it comes to leadership, I feel like you need to find out what makes people tick, what makes people get the best out of themselves, and hold them accountable to it every day.
Yeah, I would just add, Alex is going to be humble on this, but we didn't ask him to do this, and I think within 2 days of signing, he had asked for reports on every player and what they're working on to make sure that he was talking about the right things with those players. He asked for a meeting with all of the minor league staff that's in Arizona to talk through our hitting philosophy, to make sure he was talking about the right things. He had already called almost all of our players to talk to him. So these are the things that he's already talked about. And actually another thing, he came to my office yesterday and he said, "Hey, I hope you're okay. I committed to the WBC, to play in May. I hope you're okay with that." And I was like, "Sure, of course." And he's like, "Don't worry, I'll come in the morning before we have workouts and make sure I'm with the guys." And so it isn't just it's in 4 or 5 days he's been a Cub. Like, there's already been countless examples of things he's working on that no one's asked him to do, but that's how he thinks about his role. It's not just about getting his workouts in, it's about making sure he's integrated with the entire team.
Over to the right for Ryan.
Ryan Baker from CBS Chicago. Welcome. Alex, first of all, what's been the reaction from fans as you've made your way around town twice at the United Center? And also, what did you think about this deal breaking Saturday night during the Packers-Bears playoff game? And are you taking partial credit for the comeback?
The reaction from fans has been awesome. I feel like there is an excitement in the air about Cubs baseball, and I can't wait to get after it and get out there on the field and play for them. Reagan and I were getting dinner when the deal broke in the fourth quarter and we had the game on, and I said, this could go one of two ways. I hope they come back and win. Yeah, I'm going to go to the game Sunday, so hopefully stay warm.
Yeah, I want to add on that. I feel like, I certainly wasn't planning on having that news break during the Bears game. I was just sitting there at home watching the game with my boys. But, the last two deals I've done with Scott, one of them, we signed Matt Boyd at 2 a.m. on a Sunday. And we signed Alex in the third or fourth quarter of the Bears game on a Saturday night. So, you never quite know when deals are going to get done. It wasn't ideal timing, but it ended up kind of perfect. I think it was 21-6. They were down when the news broke. So I think the Bears fans will be excited to see Alex at the game. And also I would say, he was talking about this city, and it's just been so great to see the city alive and talking about the Bears, and it's been an incredible run, and it's a great team to watch. So I think in a lot of ways it's kind of inspirational for us too, that you want to, we had that this October for a bit, and you want to get back there because the city really does respond when you're winning.
Hey Alex, it's Jordan Bastion, MLB.com. When you look at the structure of your contract, just how important was stability for you? And when we talk about these leadership qualities and intangibles, and you mentioned the young core players on this team, how important with that stability can you kind of proceed knowing you have Pete Crow Armstrong, Matt Shaw, and Kate Horton, and young players that are going to be kind of looking up to you as part of this deal?
No, it's super important. Like I said earlier, two most important things to me are my family and winning baseball games. And from the beginning of the offseason, the Cubs expressed to me that they wanted me to be here, and they were committed to that and committed to my family. And I cannot wait to get to work with all the guys on the team in that clubhouse, and hopefully we can win a lot of baseball games and build something really special for a long time together.
Alex, how different was this process this winter versus a year ago when it lagged into spring training, and what did you learn from that made this potentially easier?
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit different. I felt like everything was coming a lot quicker, coming quicker together, and I know free agency is a tough process, and I was definitely thankful for the guidance from Scott and my family, and it was great to get a deal done now and not in spring training, that's for sure.
Alex, Omar from Univision Chicago Contacto Deportivo. Bienvenido, Chicago. Welcome to the city. This weekend is obviously very special for Chicago Cubs fans, Cubs convention. What are you most looking forward to for the convention going on this weekend? I mean, there's a lot of buzz in town to see you in person.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Just to be around the excitement. Obviously, it's January, but to already have that excitement's awesome. And looking forward to seeing all my teammates, seeing all the fans, and it's a good way to get the new year started and get ready to get down to Arizona and get going.
Alex, can you talk about how important it was for you to learn and be a master at speaking Spanish, and how that has taken you another level with your teammates over these years?
Well, I feel like communication is key, and early on in professional baseball, I felt like if I wanted to be a leader, I needed to be able to communicate with everybody. And I felt like learning. I wouldn't say I'm a master, but I understand it pretty well and speak it pretty well. But I feel like being able to communicate with your teammates is key, and being able to communicate in their native language is important, and it shows that you're willing to put in the effort and care about them.
Hey, Alex. Matt Spiegel, 670 The Score. Number 3. So did you talk to Nico Horner about number 2? And is that somebody you're looking forward to playing with?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. No, I didn't talk to him. I wore number 3 because I wanted a 3rd championship.
Patrick?
2 questions. First for Jed, just following up on that idea. Have you talked to Nico Horner? Because these trade rumors keep popping up. Is the idea that Alex and Nico will play together this year and build out an infield with Matt Shaw as a super sub? Could you kind of clarify that?
Yeah, I mean, I think so many of the things I said about Alex, I would say about Nico. Great person, great player. He leads by example, and he's a guy that we drafted, we developed, we've extended, and I think the world of Nico. So,
And then, Scott, how would you describe your relationship with the Cubs over the years, with Jed in particular, of kind of building a working relationship, and what this moment means here of bringing a big free agent to Chicago?
Well, my playing career, I had the good fortune of being in the Cubs organization, and Bob Kennedy brought me over, and a few knee operations after I ended up in Chicago practicing law. So the element of what I think Cub baseball is about today is the hope is championships. And today marks where they brought a champion to Chicago. And bringing someone who's gone through that multiple times and been in the World Series and won and lost, it just is a library for so many players to take advantage of and to relax, comfort. All of the unknowns have answers, and the expectations are dealt with daily. And so when you bring a champion in, you know where to go, you know how to get answers. And I think that's something that's really, really important to the development of optimization of players to a championship level.
Jay?
Hey, Alex, Jay Cohen, Associated Press. Obviously, playing here comes with some scheduling quirks with the amount of afternoon games. Some guys sometimes struggle to adjust their schedule and stuff like that. Have you thought about that? Or have you talked to players about playing that amount of afternoon games and turnarounds? And Scott, I wonder if you also could add, I'm sure you've had players that play over a year. What do you tell your players about adjusting the schedule and any research you guys have done into that?
I think it's nice you can get to have dinner with your family a lot. But I think the biggest thing is go to sleep, get some good sleep, get ready to play, and go win a baseball game the next day. So I feel like I've played a lot of day games in my career, and I'm looking forward to it.
Alex, playing off that a little bit, Cubs have a little bit of a surplus in the infield, at least right now. What are your thoughts on getting off your feet a little bit, maybe at DH or whatever? How many games do you want to play at third base as you start to advance to later stages here?
Well, I want to play every single day, every pitch. We'll see if Counts lets that happen or not. But I want to play every single day, and I want to play for a very long time. So, yeah.
We'll up here to Megan in the front.
This is for Scott and Jed. The deferral part is something that you guys have kind of resisted the last few years, going down that path. What made Alex, the right player to do that for? And then just for Scott, too, just knowing that they had been resistant to that, what was it like bridging the gap on that and them getting on board?
It's a good question. It's something that we have been resistant to. We've done some in the past. We deferred some money in Hayward's contract and Lester's contract, but this was the most we'd ever done. And it was really a lot of conversations we had with Tom and Crane and the business side throughout the year. I think you're always thinking about evolving as an organization and thinking about things different. And we had a lot of, I think, fruitful conversations about that, and that sort of led to this deal. So I felt really good from a collaboration standpoint that this was a conversation that started early in the summer and kind of extended, and it led to us kind of thinking about contract structures and the financial engineering a little bit different.
Yeah, certainly. Each club's intentions and what they choose to do financially for us, we just let them know we're flexible. Intellectually, being raised on a farm, you just have to make sure that you're getting a little less lipstick and a lot more pig in the dynamic of it. And so this is a process that is one that's rather arduous as to how you determine net present values and look at all the things, but it certainly creates a new level of communication apart from baseball. But in the end, you're both looking for a definition of equity and fairness, and I'm glad we're able to reach that. And also, Alex is very flexible with the Cubs and appreciating a design that fit their program and what they wanted to do, and so it was a nice union.
We might have gotten the deal done before kickoff of the Bears game if it wasn't for all the spreadsheets.
Yeah. This for Scott and for Jed. Does this deal announce the Cubs as kind of that top-tier behemoth along with those others, Scott, around MLB in terms of going for it at the very top of the industry?
I think, look, we're all in the game surrounded by the barometer of talent. And the graduation of that talent internally is something that is brought to light by leadership. It's brought to light by experience and performance. And when you look at organizations and it's why the forecasting of particularly baseball performance is so difficult, because of the fact that that players can be affected over the length of a season by so much. And I think the great thing is about Alex and his career is that wherever he's been, he went to Boston last year with a very young team, and they ended up in the playoffs, which is something no one expected. And so when you're looking at what talent does and what their standing is going in, I think you certainly look at the great experienced talent they have, the depth they have, but you also have to look at the leadership and the information that's applied to really determine how optimal that group will work.
We're here to sell you. Matt, can you pass the mic to...
Hi, Paul Sullivan, Tribune. Going into this whole thing, most of us thought that going back to Boston was almost a fait accompli. What were you thinking? Was the Cubs your choice at the start, or did you think that Boston would make a better push to get you, or how do you look at that?
Well, I think I was, obviously in free agency, you get to listen to the team's needs, and at the beginning of free agency, I think it was expressed to me how much the Cubs valued what I cared about, and I'm looking forward to being here and winning baseball games.
We'll take two more.
Alex, going back to what we were talking about with the nostalgia of the 2016 Cubs, you were a rookie that year. What do you remember from that team and watching, I'm sure you were watching the World Series and kind of how that team won, and then, because you guys, the Astros took off, right after that?
Well, I think it was a fun team to watch. Great pitching, great offense. Super talented players that played a fun brand of baseball, and not that fun to play against. We played against them that year at the end of the year, and they were tough. What I really remember is this city and how fired up they were for that championship run, and hopefully we can do that again.
You've talked about over and over how important, stability and, maybe where you're going to be for the rest of your career, stuff like that. How important was having a no trade clause in this deal?
I feel like you said, being able to be in a place that offered stability and a place that showed how much they cared about what was important to me was super important to myself, my family. I have a young family, and we can't wait to raise our kids here in Chicago.